Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for this episode of the Doobert webinar. So today we're going to be looking at Doobert's foster management package plans. So recently we changed the way that our plans are going to work. So basically now they are program based. So for example, foster management, crisis boarding, pet food pantry, things like that. So they're really outreach program based. And what we do is we give you all the resources to manage your programs for a flat price. And we also offer bundle and saves, which are going to save you a lot of money. So I highly recommend those. But we give you everything you need to manage every step of your program, from data entry to sending out your communications to reporting. So I figured I would share a little bit about this package with you guys today and give you kind of like a crash course of what's included if you might be interested. So, checking out our first slide, just a brief overview of what the foster management package is. The Doobert team is going to build every workflow and form for your program. So I know the workflows can get confusing. They're a little bit difficult if you've never made one before. So that's why we really like to give you the resources to have those workflows, but they're pre-created by us because we're the pros. We know all the good workflows. So that is a great feature to the package plans. Alongside the forms, those are going to really streamline your data entry. And then we're also going to give you some templates for text and emails. So these templates for text and emails, these are really the base for your workflows. So you can either send these out as a workflow or you can just send out a template manually, whatever you prefer. But we can really customize these to your entire process. So for example, if you want to send out an accepted foster volunteer workflow, we can do that. Or if we want to send out a rejected, anything like that, we can help you create those and show you how they work. And then we're also going to give you some case statuses and types that are pre-created. You're going to get quite a few. They're super comprehensive and they're going to be basically tailored to your foster program and your processes. So kind of like the progression that your fosters would go through your application process. And then we can transition them over to a approved foster. So that's really great there. And then looking at our creating cases. So if you choose to just manage your fosters through Doobert completely free, you can definitely do that. The only downside to this is that you would not have access to the forms or us pre-creating your case statuses, your types, your templates, and your workflows. But you can always create your cases manually when you get a call-in or you get an email inquiry, anything like that. But with the basically managing your foster program for free, what you'll want to do is create a case for every foster applicant. You'll put in their preferences, any case tags about their interests, whether they want to foster dogs, cats, anything like that. And then you can put them as, for example, an approved status or whatever status you prefer, and then you can just start adding animal profiles to their case to indicate which ones that they have with them currently. But if you are on the paid plans, this is going to be done automatic for you. So you're not going to have to create these cases automatically. This form is going to live on your website. And then when someone fills it out, it's going to automatically open that case for you with tags, description, and all things like that. So it's going to take a lot of work off your plate and it's going to make your data entry super seamless as well as fast. And then it's really good if, for example, you miss some things, if you're managing through spreadsheets or on paper. I know it can be a struggle. So that's why I highly recommend these forms. But the great thing about this is also going to add your tags, but it's also going to add tags about the contact as well. So when we get into CCM, I'll show you guys a little bit about the difference in these and what you can do with them if you are doing this for free, or if you're looking for the paid plan, kind of how you'll be able to read your case tags that'll come in. And then, like I said, we can just update your case statuses to determine the foster's progress. And then we have our workflow section. So we're going to give you some pre-created workflows from the Doobert team for your paid plans. And what you're going to do with these is you're going to just be able to send them out with a click of a button. And these are going to manually take a lot of the manual processes off your plate, basically. And these are going to automatically follow up. And for example, if somebody does not reply to something that you're looking for a response on, what we're going to do is we're going to flip that case status to an urgent case or something like that. And then it's going to let your team know that maybe, hey, we need to call this person or we need to reach out to them personally and see if we can get a response out of them that way. So it does a lot of that following up for you because we know following up is hard and things get missed. So this is a really great way to streamline that process as well. So we have our case types and statuses right here as well. So if you're looking to do this for free. You can just create your own case types and statuses through our manage defaults section, which I'll show you guys. But like I said, on the paid plans, we're going to give you a ton of comprehensive case statuses and a case type for your specific program that you're looking to manage. So now we're going to check out the forms. We're going to jump into the system and really get into the process and everything that's included. And then we're going to hop back into our slides right after for just a quick Q&A. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you guys an example of our foster volunteer application. So with this is going to live on your website. We're going to customize this to fit your colors, your branding, anything like that. And then you can also customize the questions. We can add some, we can remove them, whatever you prefer to fit your process. And this is going to live on your website, your Facebook, anywhere that you want to share a link. And essentially, this is going to be something that anybody who's interested in fostering for your organization would just find on your website and easily fill out. It is great for collecting all of that super good information on, for example, do they have a fenced yard? Do they have pets in their home already of their own? Do they have children? All things like that. So this is going to do so much of that data entry for you. And you're going to get all that information up front as well. So that's another really great feature about this. But anyways, we have our contact info right here. And then we have just a little bit of information about their occupation, how they heard about us, whether they fostered with your organization before. If they select yes, we just ask them to share when that was. And then moving on to the next page right here, we ask how long they are willing to foster for, whether they want to do a short term, a long term. Transport preferences, the number of animals they can foster at a time, and then have they had experience with any of the following, and then this is where they can select the types of animals that they would like to foster. So they can select as many as they'd like or just one or two. So moving on down here, we have some of the household information. So this stuff is really great for determining compatibility. So we have whether they have other animals, we can just put in information about what we have. And then down here, we just share a little bit of information about our home, whether we own our home or we rent, we have a fenced-in yard or we don't, and then how long we've lived there, as well as listing out all of our household members right here. So other than that, just moving on from that page, here we have the background check authorization. If your organization likes to run a background check, you can definitely do that. If they select yes, they'll just put in all of their information here. But if they select no, then it will take all that away. And then here, these are just specific. If they select yes, then they would just share about the crime or anything like that. Same with this one. They would just share a little bit of a description there as well. But some organizations like to change the wording of this page as well. They, for example, don't run background checks, but they do keep that information. And then they just call it an additional foster screening. So it can be used for whatever you want. It's definitely customizable in that manner. So moving into our next page right here, we just ask for any additional details about their interest in being a foster. And then we're asking for 2 references right here. If your organization checks references or just likes to keep a record of them, they can do that there. And then down here, we just have some general terms and conditions. We give these to every organization that signs up on our paid plans. And then from there, we can add things. We can add your own terms and conditions for your foster program, anything like that. But we do give you a base to start with if, for example, you don't have any. And then down here, we just get a signature and then we can submit. So great thing about this is once you hit submit, a case is going to automatically be created in your CCM. So if we hop into CCM and we head over to our companion case management and we go to cases right here, this is where we're going to see all of our applications for whether we have a foster program or whether we're doing owner surrender through CCM, all of your outreach programs that you're accepting applications for, creating cases manually for. If we want to create a case manually, we would just click on this add sign right here. It's the plus sign. But if we're going to use the form, we're going to have them already created for us. So right here, I'm going to use this one and show you guys, but we have our case name, we have our date created, our case type is a foster, and then we have the check-in receive status here as we have a foster check-in form as well that I'll show you guys in just a second. But we can also automatically assign to any of your team members as soon as this case comes in. So if you have a foster coordinator, a foster manager, that's really great for them because they will also be notified by email to let you know that you have a case that just came in for them to review. So we're going to review our application right here. So we're just going to click on this case. And When we get into the case, we're going to be able to just view all the information from our form in basically broken down simple terms. So right here, we have our status as check-in received because we sent back our foster check-in, which I'll show you guys the process for in just a second. So let me move this over and I'll show you guys all of our statuses that we have in here because we have quite a few, but we have available foster, awaiting CSR, awaiting response, all things like that. Just a couple to give you a base. So for example, we'll just put available foster for right now. And then our case type, foster again. And then our case tags right here, I'm going to show you guys kind of how we read them. But this is all customizable. For example, if you want different information coming in as your case tags, we can do that as well. But right here, this is just indicating that they are interested in fostering long term. They have experience in these two areas, and then that they're interested in fostering dogs and puppies. And then when we click show more in the description, this is where we're going to be able to view a ton of information from their form. So for example, their other household members, their dogs in their house, all things like that, and then some of their really specific foster preferences on dogs. But other than that, down here we have just our case contact information. We have name, phone number, address, email, all things like that. So then we always want to make sure we have a valid email and phone number because we're going to want to send them a foster check-in. So we'll have to get in contact to them for that. And then down here, we're an active foster. We're currently fostering. So this is where you can add animal profiles to indicate which fosters that your volunteers have. So we can just add a new animal profile by doing full add, we can quick add, or we can also add from my org as well as upload. For example, if you have your animal profiles in another platform and you want to bring them over, in our previous webinars, we covered how to upload animal profiles. So that is a really great resource as well. But right here, we just have our animal profile sitting in here. If we want to view the animal profile, we just click edit right there. I'm sure you guys know that. We talk about it in a lot of our webinars. But anyways, down here in our files section, we have the actual PDF version of our form here as well. And this is really great if you want to print this out, you want to download it, anything like that. But this is where you're going to be able to view both the background check information as well as their signature to accept the terms and conditions. I don't have everything mapped into the system just because I tried to keep it a little bit shorter and not have too much information to where it's overwhelming. So that's why I left it as the background check information staying within the PDF because then we can just pull that right from the PDF, as well as, like I said, terms and conditions. But other than that, that's it. Everything else you're going to find in the CCM case. So moving back into our case right here, this is also where we'll be able to view our foster check-ins as well once we get to that. But other than that, when we go back up to the top of our case, we have this additional info section right here. And this is where we're going to be able to see the information about the applicant's home. So for example, they have other animals, they have dogs, they live in the single family home, they own it, and they have a fenced in yard. So these are really great for searching as well. So if you want to use the search tags functionality, you can search I have a fenced yard, you can search we have other animals, so you can view all your fosters who have other animals and they have a fenced in yard, and you can kind of mix and match. We have the any and all function, so that's really great for the case tags right there. And then our internal notes about contacts, these are really great for just adding quick notes about, for example, when they're available, when they're not, whether they are on vacation, when they're coming back, all things like that. So I highly recommend these right here. But other than that, that is really it for the application process and getting them started as an active foster. So now what we're going to do is we're going to send them a check-in form. So you can send this as much as you want or as little as you want. A lot of organizations like to check in weekly, but what we would do is we would execute a workflow. And in that workflow, they're going to receive something like this. And again, this one's going to be branded to your organization as well. But this is a foster check-in right here. They'll just fill out name, phone number, email, just for verification purposes, making sure it's that correct foster. The name of the animal in their care, any behavior or illness concerns, add a photo, as well as share a fun little note about the animal, how they're doing. If they have a second animal, they would select yes. If we don't, we'll just click no, and we'll be able to move on really quickly. And then if we need any supplies for our fosters, we can just select yes and then put in whatever we are in need of. So for example, we can click pet food, bedding, anything like that, as much as we need or as little as we need, or if we don't need anything. And then we would just submit on here again. So super, super easy to fill this one out again. So now when we want to send out a check-in form, the way that we do this is we would have to click on execute workflow right here and click on foster check-in. And the reason we do that is because that is how the check-in form knows which main case to funnel back into. So we can't just share a link the way we do with the application, but this is basically just going to send this to their email, letting them know to fill out this extra form. And you can execute this every week or every month, whatever you prefer. But all we would do is just go into our case for our fosters and just click on that workflow right there. And that's going to make it super, super easy. And then once that application comes in from the applicant, this status is automatically going to flip to check-in received, like I mentioned, right here. So that's automatically going to happen. So then when you sort and filter in your all cases page, you can click on check-in received just to view the ones who have recently sent their check-in. And then the great thing about that is you're also going to get a blue dot on the case of like the case list to let you know that you have a new communication, whether that's an email, a text, or a survey response. So that's another great way to let you know that you have a response. And then when we want to view our foster check-in, we're going to go down here to our files section again, and then we see our second one right here, and then you'll be able to tell which one is the newest foster check-in because the date will fall in here. But we can just click on this, we'll open this up, and then this is where we'll be able to view our foster check-in. So this one's a little bit different. The foster check-ins don't map to CCM because it will replace all the information that's there. So we don't want to lose our foster preferences and all things like that. So that's why it works this way. But we can just scroll down. We can see if they have any concerns here as well. If they uploaded a fun photo, we can view that here. And then we have what supplies they are in need of right here. So they can just see that they're in need of pet food. Then we can send them an email or text manually, just letting them know to stop in and grab that. But other than that, that is really it for our foster check-in process. So it's super easy. It is a great way to check in with your fosters and stay in communication with them. But moving back into CCM, I'm going to show you guys a couple quick ways that we can change our case types and statuses if you are either on a paid plan or you're doing a free plan. And this is just a great way that you can really customize your process. So in companion case management, we can go down to manage defaults. And then right here, we just have our manage case statuses. These are what we are probably going to have quite a few of, but in our case statuses, we can just type one in, choose a color, and click create. So we'll go ahead and do that right here. So we can just make one for an on-hold application, and then we'll just click on create right there. Oh, we already have that one. We have quite a few in here. But as you can see, that's just the process for that. And then down here are case types as well. We can add these just the same as we did with our case statuses. So super easy. And then just checking out our workflows and our templates right here. Like I said, we can customize these, build them for you to fit your processes. Typically, you'll get one that is like an accepted foster volunteer, but it's totally different for every organization depending on what they're looking for. So we do accepted foster volunteer. The sending out the check-in is also another workflow. And then we can add any more that you're interested in as well. So if we check out our templates, these are going to be the base for our workflows right here. So see, we have accepted foster volunteer. We can just click on this one and I'll show you guys what will be sent if we want to send them this one. But this is just letting them know that they would like to bring them on board for the foster program. Super easy, but as we click out of this one, we also have our check-in. We have the foster needed one as well. So I'll show you guys this one here. And this is a great one because this is a template rather than a workflow. So if you have a potential foster and you want to see if this pet, for example, is going to be a good fit for them, what we can do is we can hop into our cases again. And let's open back up our foster application and say that we're an active foster, and we're going to go into our communication tab right here. And we're going to click on email, and then we're going to insert a template. We're going to say foster needed for animal. And then this is going to pop in right here. And all we're going to do is just fill out these highlighted fields right here with the information about that animal. And then what this is going to do is it's just going to send them an email to see if they're interested. And then when they reply, we'll get that blue dot again on our cases list. So that's really great to let you know. And then the system will also ding if you have it open in a tab and your volume's up. So that is another good way to be notified. But then your response, for example, anything that they reply to the email with or a text will just fall in right here. It'll say response received, and then what exactly that response was down in our conversation log. So it's super, super easy to do that. All we would do to send this off is just click on send right here, for example, and then down in our conversation log, we can see that we had just sent out something as it reloads. But down here, see, we have the email for the foster needed. But other than that, that is really it for the foster process and everything that's included in the paid plans. So now we're going to hop back into our slides for a quick Q&A. Okay, so our first question is, how much are the paid plans and what is the bundle and save program? So great question. I'm sure you guys have all been waiting, but over here, this is our pricing page. It's Doobert.com/pricing/, and this is where you can view all of our package plans. You can also see a breakdown of what's included as well. So everything we talked about here today, we have foster management, owner surrender, crisis boarding, spay neuter, pet food assistance, and then we also have these additional benefits down here. And then we are always looking to add new programs as well. So those are definitely in the works. So check back frequently to see some new ones. But for the bundle and save, we have 2 programs for $847, 5 for $17.20, and 10 for $26.45. And then if you want to just do one, there are all as $529 per year. So super affordable in terms of a software that's going to automate a lot of your processes. It's definitely one of the most affordable on the market, so I highly recommend checking these out and considering it as an option to manage your foster program. So moving back into our Q&A, our next question is, how do we run reports on our cases? So that's a great question as well. We have a reporting module where you can easily just choose companion case management reporting and easily just run that report. So just to show you guys really quick, when I go into companion case management, again, I have reporting right here, and then I have companion case management reporting. And with this, we can just go ahead and click change fields. We can remove anything currently in there if we have any, but we can just go through here and pick and choose what fields we want to run a report on. Click add and then click update, and then you will have that updated report with all of the information that you're looking for. We don't have a ton of cases in here because this is our foster management beta account, but once you have quite a few applications in there, you'll be able to run a really good report. So that is just a little bit how to do that. But other than that, that is all I have for us today. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this webinar, and hope to see you guys in our future webinars.